So hello friends, today we are going to discuss the experiment on heat transfer from the pin fin. So I have written the aim for that. It is to determine the efficiency of the pin fin and to plot the temperature distribution across the pin fin for two cases. One is natural convection and other is forced convection. This must be clear in theory part, that what is meant by pin fin. So that are the prerequisites which should be covered during the theory lectures. You must be clear about what is meant by extended surfaces. What is the purpose of fin? It is to increase the heat transfer rate over the surface by increasing the surface area. We try to improve or enhance the heat transfer by increasing the surface area with the help of extended surfaces called fins. So pin fin is what? It is a kind cylindrical fin like this. This chalk is the shape of the chalk can be a pin fin if it is made of a metal part. So like this, it is mounted on the surface so that the surface area of the fin improves the rate of heat transfer by convection. So that is extended surfaces. You must be clear about this. You shall be able to analyze the pin fins, particularly boundary condition with the insulated tip fin. Formulation for the efficiency of the fin must be clear to you. Then natural convection analysis you should be able to carry out for flow across the cylinder. If this is a cylinder and if flow is flowing across the cylinder, you should be able to analyze its natural convection, means you should be able to compute the convection coefficient with the help of correlations. So this is minimum requirement before starting the trial. This theory part must be clear to you, then only you can proceed for the further part. Now we will go for the experimental setup. So let us see the setup diagram for pin fin apparatus arranged in the natural convection. So there is simple arrangement. There is a pin fin which is made of aluminium, which is a cylindrical fin. At the end of that there is a heater mounted and which is connected to the power supply so that we can supply the heat input. This end will be heated, it will be carried away from the surface by the fin through this material by conduction and over the surface by convection. The surrounding air will be cooling that fin with the natural convection. So there are 5 thermocouples mounted on the fin surface from T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5. Ambient air temperature can be taken with any of the thermocouple before starting the heater, because the manufacturer has not supplied extra thermocouple for that. So the 5 temperatures will give you the temperature profile, or we can say temperature distribution across the fin. So if you plot that temperature across y axis, so whatever the value of T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5, it will give you the temperature distribution. That is one of the objective of our today's trial. So this is the length of the fin. The plotting the temperature across the length of the fin, that is temperature distribution along the fin. That we will plot once we take the readings. So this is your setup, simple setup. There is a fin whose diameter is 15 mm. For convection analysis, that is characteristic length, because the flow across the cylinder it is. So characteristic length will be diameter, that is 0.015 meter, and the length of the fin is 0.15 meter. Okay. Then there is a heater. So this is simple analysis. So these are the required specifications for the calculations. Length, and this is the aluminium conductivity. The fin is made of aluminium, so conductivity of aluminium is 205 watt per meter Kelvin. So this is the setup for heat transfer from the pin fin apparatus. Now here you can observe that there is a control panel and there is a duct, which is a square duct in which a fin is mounted. This is a square duct, and across this there is a fin mounted like this. There is a pin fin which is inside the duct, which is across the duct, and the heater is mounted at the back side. This black box contains the heater which will heat that pin fin. We can see this from this cross section, that there is a aluminium pin fin which is horizontal, on which there are 5 thermocouples are mounted, and at the back side of this fin there is a black box which contains the heater. So we can set this for natural convection as well as forced convection. For forced convection there is a blower and this orifice meter manometer setup is provided. So when we want to set this for the forced convection, we just have to switch on the blower, and from the manometer and the orifice meter we can get the mass flow rate of the air. Air is the working fluid, cooling fluid, and water is the manometric fluid. So And when we want to set this for natural convection, we just have to switch on the heater for the fin. That time blower will be switched off. Now we can control this with the we can control that with this control panel, where we can observe that there is a heater switch which will switch on the heater. Voltmeter and ammeter, voltmeter and ammeter will be controlled by the thermostat, and there is a separate switch for the blower. If this is off and heater is on, it is for natural convection. So I can show you, if I switch on this, blower is on now. So here you can observe the manometer, there is a difference, and when the blower switch is off, it can be used for natural convection. So now first part of the experiment, we will set this for natural convection. For that purpose I will switch on the heater and will increase the voltage to some value. With the help of thermostat I am increasing the voltage. So let us set it for certain 50 to 60 watt. Multiplication of these two values will give you the heat energy input. So it is around 60-70 watt. So whatever value you want, you can choose that, no problem. So I am setting this as 140 volt something, okay, 150 volt something. Now heater is on now, fin has started heated from the back side, and now thermocouples will record the temperature. For that purpose we will switch on the temperature indicator switch. So now there are 5 thermocouples mounted on the fin. So and ambient temperature can be recorded with any of the thermocouple before starting the heater. So I can show you the ambient temperature. So this is in the range of 38 or something. So ambient temperature currently right now is 39. Okay. So now we have started the heater. Now temperature will go on increasing. So it is unsteady state. After 1.5 hours we will get the final readings for natural convection. So it is very simple experiment. To set this in natural convection, you just have to switch on the heater. And when we want to set this for forced convection, we just have to switch on the blower also. So let us go for the observation table now. So this is your observation table. Note down this on your page and we'll go for the setup now. We'll take the readings. Since we have started the setup from last 2 hours now, so it is now almost steady state. So we'll take the readings there. You can observe that there will be voltmeter, voltage, current. T1 to T5 are the temperature across the fin, and this is the ambient temperature that will be taken before starting the trial. Okay. So let us go for the readings now. Now let us record the readings for natural convection environment. The pin fin is set into natural convection environment for at least 2 hours. Now we are taking the readings since the almost steady state is achieved. So you can note down the current as 0.27 and voltage as 146. In the voltage column write down 146 and in the current column write down 0.27. I hope you have the observation table. Wrote down these readings as I dictate. Now let us record the temperatures across the fin. T1 is 79.3. Whatever value I will dictate, record it, 79.3. T2 is 79. T3 is 69.8. T4 is 69. And T5 is 62.6. And I have already told you what was the temperature of the ambient air. That was, I think, 38. So we had ambient air temperature as 38. Now let us go for calculations. Now you can see the observation table. These are the readings we have taken from the setup. Now we will go for the calculations. Now you know that for natural convection analysis we need Grashof numbers. So Grashof numbers has these quantities and that can be obtained with the help of properties of the air. To find out the properties of the air we need mean fluid temperature. So for that we have to find out surface temperature, mean surface temperature. So we have these 5 temperature readings. The average of these 5 temperature readings gives you the mean surface temperature of the fin. And this is the fluid temperature, atmospheric air temperature. So average of them will give you the mean fluid temperature. So this is Ts plus T infinity by 2 mean fluid temperature, that is 47 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature we will see the properties of the air from the data book, and in Kelvin it is 320. So we will firstly find out beta, that is coefficient of expansion, volumetric expansion. So that is 1 upon TMF, and that is nothing but 0.003124 Kelvin inverse. Kelvin inverse, this value must be in Kelvin. Once we got the beta, we have to find out the properties. So that we will find out at 47 degrees Celsius, that is TMF from properties of the air from the data book. So I have obtained that properties from the data book, that is density, kinematic viscosity, Prandtl number, Cp, fluid conductivity, this is fluid conductivity, then dynamic viscosity. So putting all these values here in this formula, we know the Grashof number is nothing but G beta delta T Lc cube upon nu square. So in this formula, if I put all the values, I get Grashof number as 6902.28. So if I take the product of Grashof number, that is 4819, which is less than 10 to the 4. So we can decide that which correlation is to be used. Now we will go for the remaining part of the calculations. Once you write down this, note down this, we will go for the next part. So let us see the remaining part of the calculations. So we have calculated product of Grashof number and Prandtl number, that is less than 10 to the 4. So from the data book, for the flow across the cylinder, if this is the cylinder, flow across the cylinder, for that case the Nusselt number correlation is given as 1.1 into GRPR raised to 1 by 6. So with this help of correlation, if you put these values, you will get Nusselt number as 4.52. Okay, and using this Nusselt number, we know the formula that HLC upon K, where characteristic length is the diameter of the fin and conductivity of the fluid air. If these two values are known, Nusselt number is also known. Put this value, you will get the heat transfer coefficient over the surface of the fin. Once we get the heat transfer coefficient over the surface of the fin, convection analysis is over now. Convection is done. Now we will go for the analysis of the fin. Now in the analysis of the fin, we need heat transfer coefficient. That is why we did all this. Okay. Now we have got this H. So to analyze the fin, we must find out the perimeter of the fin, that is pi d. Cross section area of the fin, pi by 4 d square. Put the values, you will get these values. Then conductivity of the aluminum material is required here. Do not confuse this with the Kf. This is conductivity of the air, that is required in the convection analysis. But in fin analysis, we need conductivity of aluminum. Okay, that is a point of mistake. Don't make this mistake. Now we have to find out this m value. This is a constant which is Hp upon Kac. So put these all values, you will get m as 3.318. We have seen this in theory part. So we will get the value of ml, where L is the length of the fin. And we can put that here for insulated tip fin. The formula for the fin efficiency is hyperbolic tan of ml upon ml. If you put these values, you will get in the calculator, you can find out efficiency of the fin in this case has came as 92.48%. So that is how we have computed the efficiency of the fin. So in this practical, we have learned many things, that how to analyze convection environment to find out the heat transfer coefficient over the flow across the cylinder, and how to compute the efficiency of that fin. Okay, so the remaining part is to similar process can be done for the efficiency of fin to find out in the force convection environment. Okay, now let us see experimental setup for force convection. We are going to set our pin fin in force convection environment, and then we are going to find out fin efficiency. So for that purpose, the setup is same. The same fin is used, same heater is used as we have seen for the natural convection. This arrangement is same, only it is kept in a duct. Okay, now to create a force convection environment, we need a duct. So square duct is taken. The perpendicular dimension is also linear, so it is square duct. Okay, and through this square duct, air is going to enter through the suction side of the blower. This is the blower, so suction side of the blower is going to suck this air. Okay, we will see this in the setup actually. Then the delivery pipe will be there. So pipe will air will be left in this pipe. In the delivery pipe, there is orifice plate. Okay, across the orifice plate there is a manometer which will give me the manometric head. Okay, the manometric fluid is water. Orifice plate is there. This is the duct diameter d1 and do is the orifice diameter. Small d is the notation for pin fin diameter. Fin diameter is denoted with small d. d1 is the delivery pipe diameter. do is the orifice diameter. So, and the duct dimensions are 150 mm by 150. Okay, so square duct of 150 mm by 150 mm dimensions. Heater is there at the back end. So we will start the heater, okay, and allow it for the steady state. During that, blower will also be running. So air will flow with some velocity over this. So that is external means is this. We have installed the blower there. So that is the external means. So that is it is force convection. We are cooling this fin with the force convection. So in this case, what is the efficiency of the pin fin that we are going to compute? For that purpose, we have the observation table. Similar observation table, only the one column extra is added, that is manometric head, that is in mm of water. Okay, and the water head difference across the orifice plate. Okay, so this is what the setup is. Note down this observation table. Now we will go to the setup and we'll take the readings. Okay, and then we'll come back for the calculations. So let us set this pin fin apparatus for force convection environment. For that purpose, we will have to switch on the heater. This one is temperature indicator. Then this is heater switch. And with the dimmer stat, I can set some value. Let us set it around 150 volt. Okay, it is 160, and we just have to switch on the blower. So now this is, if this is the case, it was for natural convection. I want to set this for force convection, so that I will have to switch on the blower first. So heater is on now. Heater at the back side of the fin is on. Now we will switch on the blower. For that purpose, this is the switch. Now blower is running. We'll have to allow this for at least 2 hours to get this steady state. So note down the readings for force convection over the pin fin. Have the observation table with you and note down these readings. The current is 0.3 ampere and voltage is 161 volt. Now let us record the temperatures. T1 is 66.8, T2 is 70.2, T3 is 63.6, T4 is 55.9, next is 51.4. So these are the readings for 5 temperature readings, and ambient temperature we have already recorded. So these are the readings. You can see this observation table. We have taken this reading after steady state for pin fin in the force convection environment. So you have this reading now. So let us start the calculations. So in calculations, we will firstly find out the surface temperature of the fin. So we have the 5 thermocouples mounted on the surface. So that average of that 5 thermocouples will give the surface temperature of the fin. We know the ambient temperature, which is 38 degrees Celsius, which we have recorded in the beginning of the trial. So that is 38 degrees Celsius. So average of that will give us the mean fluid temperature. So this is TMF is what? Mean fluid temperature. So at this mean fluid temperature, from the data book we can get the air properties. So these air properties are listed here. At the end, I have listed the specifications for the setup, where this diameter is the duct delivery pipe diameter, as I have shown in the experimental setup. That delivery pipe diameter, sorry, this is diameter of fin, then this is diameter of delivery pipe, and this is the diameter of orifice. Okay, convert these values in meter, and that values have to be used for the calculations. So in meter, that will be 0.015 meter. This is 0.0635 meter, and this one 0.03 meter. So these values to be used for the calculations. Okay, so when we begin the calculations, we have to find out the duct diameter first, duct in which the orifice is installed, that is delivery pipe diameter area, and then orifice area. Both areas are obtained. Then we have to convert this manometric head, which is in water column, into air column. With this help of this formula, we have learned this in fluid mechanics. Okay, So density of the manometric fluid upon density of working fluid minus 1 into manometric head. So with the help of this we can get that 77 meter of air column is there. So corresponding volume flow rate can be obtained with the formula for the orifice meter, that is coefficient of discharge into this value, this formulation, and we get the volume flow rate as 0.01 meter cube per second. With the help of this volume flow rate, we want to find out the velocity in the square duct. What is the velocity in the square duct? That will be velocity over the fin surface. So that is why we have to take the cross section area of the square duct here. Volume flow rate discharge equal to area into velocity. Which area? Cross section area. Which cross section? It is duct cross section, which is fin is kept in the square duct. We should not take the cross section of the fin here. Pi by 4 d square will not be the formula. Here the duct cross section has to be taken because we want to find out the velocity in that duct. Okay. So we have got the velocity as 0.8 meter per second. Now with the help of this velocity we will find out the Reynolds number, then with the help of correlation we will find out the Nusselt number, and with the help of Nusselt number we will get the heat transfer coefficient and remaining fin analysis. Okay. So we have got the velocity. Now we will find out the Reynolds number. Here you can observe that Reynolds number is rho v LC upon mu. Characteristic length in this case is the diameter of the fin. So we will put that diameter of the fin as 0.015 meter. Density of the air, velocity and dynamic viscosity. We got the value as 673, which is much less than 4000. So with this information from the data book, we have got the correlation for the flow over the fin as Nusselt number equal to 0.165 Ra raised to 0.55. Putting the value of Reynolds number here, we get the Nusselt number as 3.431. Using the formula for Nusselt number from the dimensional analysis, we can find out the heat transfer coefficient, where the characteristic length is again fin diameter. Once we get the heat transfer coefficient, that is 6.464, we can now proceed for the fin efficiency calculations. We know that the perimeter of the fin, area of cross section of the fin can be computed, and putting that all values we can get the m value. M value is HP upon KAC, that is 2.8. So we can obtain this particular ml, and then fin efficiency for insulated tip fin. For insulated tip fin it is tan hyperbolic ml upon ml, and putting all this value we can get the efficiency of the fin as 94.15%. Here care has to be taken that this conductivity is not air conductivity. This is for fin analysis, so it is fin conductivity, aluminum fin conductivity, which is 205 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay. So that is what all the calculations are. So we have got the efficiency of the fin in force convection environment also. That is how we have completed this trial. Thank you very much.